Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Have you ever dreamed of having the entire library of Neo Geo Pocket and Neo Geo Pocket Color games in a single cartridge? Well, you wanted it? Well, now you got it! That's right, now available to pre-order from StoneAgeGamer.com is the Neo Pocket Game Drive from Retro HQ, and this bad boy contains 15 megabytes of onboard flash memory available to install your games, and a memory card slot to access your library directly from the console wherever you are. You got 3 distinct flavors for you to choose from: the MVS, the AES, and the regular Neo Geo Pocket Color style. You can pre-order now today for $94.99 or get the deluxe edition with case and manual for only $106.99. What are you waiting for? Click on the link below in the description to pre-order, and as always, thank you for your support. What's up, everybody? Twin Family back at you. Another video. As always, I'm your host, John Schaefer. Now, by the way, if you notice, I got no more nails because that's what this quarantine has done. I was able to just pop them off and cut them because who knows when the hell we're getting out of all this. But anyway, I want to thank everybody who tuned in to the EverDrive Game Gear X7 review. That's, as I'm shooting this, it's about a day away from unlocking, which means, you know, premiere time. So as when you see this video, it'll be a week after the review is completed with, you know, the overview and the gameplay footage, which was a pain in the ass to do, believe me. But I want to thank you guys for your support in that, and there's a lot of exciting things to come, especially with the mode coming out, which I got my pre-order in. There's, you know, obviously the SX Lite for the Switch, just a lot of things being made. And even though 2020 may suck for the rest of it, a lot of shit's getting canceled, there's still some good things to look forward to. Now, this video today I've been wanting to do for quite a while, because I've seen some people do it, but not many. As you know, I got the Xbox 360 with the Star Wars, and that got RGH modded. So naturally, the first thing you want to do is look for a hard drive, right? Problem is, a lot of hard drives are, you know, they're 2 terabyte laptop size. They go for an $80, $90, which is stupid. But what if I told you there was an easier way and a cheaper way to do that? Well, I hope to prove that theory today, because in this box, you're never going to guess what it is. Obviously, it's a hard drive, but still. This is the Seagate Backup Plus 2 terabyte. Got this from Amazon for like around $59. Now, instead of giving you the smaller box like they normally do, Amazon's packaging, they just throw it in a cardboard box and just call it that. So we're going to take this out. It's a portable drive, which is a laptop size. And of course, we don't need this garbage. Although if you really want to, keep it, because that's going to come in handy, actually, because you could still use this board. So we got this pocket drive. It's 2 terabyte. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would I bother with this if I'm going to just get a 2 terabyte drive? And why am I bringing this up? Because you can literally just throw games on this and play it through the USB port. Simple. Because in my experience with these Seagate portable drives, they cheap out. They literally will put a standard laptop drive and just plug it into a daughter board and come up with the very contraption you see here. And the daughter board is useful because you could plug it into any SATA hard drive. And especially if you're planning on getting the mode for the Dreamcast and the Saturn, you're going to need a way to plug it into your computer to load your games on. So this will accomplish twofold. It'll give us a daughter board we can use with the mode laptop drives that we're going to be using. And I'll get a 2 terabyte drive to use in my Xbox. Hopefully, if they didn't change it. Well, First thing you'll need to know is look for this little lip here that we're going to be working on. And the way I figure it's 60 bucks. This can't go too wrong. So we have our trusty handy dandy screwdriver kit. And by the way, make sure you don't cut yourself doing this. It's very easy to do that. So we've got this lip over here, and we're going to use the smallest sized flathead. Trying to get this on camera. Just gonna work your way into there. You see I'm making some progress. You can see it bending. Trying to work it a little bit so I have a spot to increase the size as we go on. I'll go the next size up. Because you don't want to damage the drive. Casing, who gives a shit about that? So I can move this over here a little bit so you can see. I can see better. Now I don't want to start too much near the ends because it can easily slip, and well, that'll be the end of your hand. It seems like they made, because this is plastic, like matte plastic. Seems like they really went to town on this fucking thing. Oh, I'm making some headway here, snap. You see it's separating a little bit. There it is. See, there's the snaps. Just keep it holding open with your finger, because after a while you could use your fingers as leverage. Because it's going to take a bit of strength, by the way. So if you don't have strength in your hands, you're really not going to do that. You're not really not going to do much good. Because, here we go. Look at that. This fucking thing off. And as a miracle, other than this little thing we used to get in, no tabs are broken. So now what you have here is a standard drive, right? So now we're gonna use this little thing, try to pry it out of there. And we do. So now we have no casing. But look at this. It's just a standard Seagate laptop drive, mobile HDD 2 terabyte. And I've actually seen some fire cooters be put in here. Now, another thing is it comes with its own screws, which is great if you want to mount it to something. Excuse me. They'll just put the screws in and then just put these little tabs on so it doesn't scratch the case. We won't be needing that anymore either. It's a little thinner too, so it will work in that Xbox enclosure. Now, another thing we need to do is take this tape off right around here. So we're going to do that right now. I mean, it's not the best hard drive in the world. I mean, obviously, if you want a Barracuda, you might as well buy a Barracuda. But for an Xbox 360, it doesn't need a really fancy schmancy hard drive like, say, a PS4 would. So you're good with just one of these. And there's the reflective tape. And when you know, the trick still works. So, okay. So now we have this, which is the hard drive, which will go in the Xbox 360. But we also got this daughter board. So you just pop it off. Be careful, rock it back and forth. And now that's it. In let me see, let me check my timer. I figure I was talking for like a minute beforehand. So in about 6-7 minutes, we literally took a brand new hard drive, brand new portable drive from Amazon that I literally just ordered, like, let's see, today's Wednesday. I ordered it Friday. Well, figure Saturday. So, about 4 days, even in this pandemic, yeah, 4 days, I ordered a hard drive, $60, including Prime shipping, a little bit of a little bit of hand tension, a little bit of elbow grease, and not only now do we have a hard drive for our Xbox 360, but we have this here daughter board that we can use for the mode. Now, why I say daughter board is because obviously that's what you call a secondary board. But why I say we could still use this is because this is still, and I've used them, and I have a couple of these actually, but for you, let's pretend we only have one. But anyway, this still works. And that's why I hang on to these. I use these in case I need to plug in one of these to the computer. And especially with the mode, it uses hard drives. It uses either a solid state hard drive or a traditional hard drive, but it's got to be 2.5 in diameter. It's got to be 2.5 thick, I should say. So you're still going to need one of these. Now, it doesn't matter for this one if you use a 3.5 or a 2.5. You could still use it. 3.5, some drives work with this, some don't. Obviously it requires, the power draw, it depends on. But for pretty much any laptop drive, this will work. And especially if you're consistently upgrading consoles like I do, if you're constantly upgrading, say, your PS4 or your 360 or your PS3, and you need to reuse those drives for something, that's cheap storage. Like, for example, I have a 60 gig when I got my backwards compatible PS3. They put a 1 tera in. And I still use the 60 gig with one of these as like a cheap storage drive if I need to move some data to another place, or if I want to, say, watch a movie directly off my television or a Blu-ray player as a test. So many things you could do with one of these and a spare hard drive that you were just going to throw away. You never throw away hard drives because you always use them. And especially you can reuse the case, because this case, other than that little nick, isn't that bad. So if reality, you can reuse this, or you can use this trick if you already have one of these and you want to upgrade to a bigger drive. Say like you have maybe a 500 gigabyte of one of these or 1 tera, and you want to take advantage, because these are still a little bit thick. These could take with thicker hard drives. Say you want to upgrade to a 2 tera or 3 tera. They do make those. Use the same trick, but just pop everything back together again. So with the mode that's coming out, you're going to need a way to load those games onto your hard drives. And this is the perfect solution right here. I mean, sure, you could pay, $14, $15 and up to get a USB to SATA converter, or you could just get one with a hard drive. You probably have one of these in your house. Especially if you're watching my channel, you should have a few of these in your house. You should want to have one of these. So rather than pay that extra money when you could repurpose your drive anyway, you got this. So we're going to be using this to load the mode games. 1 drive for Saturn, 1 for Dreamcast. And for now, until I get the 1 tera, I'm trying to get the 1 terabytes before the board comes out in late June, early July. But for now, I could always use that 360 drive, which is 320 gigabytes for the fucking Saturn games, for Dreamcast games. Because, yeah, the whole set, I get it. It's a terabyte, right, for each one. But what the hell is the point when I only have and play maybe about 50 or 60 games? It's not even going to use 300 gigabytes. There you go. You reuse one of your drives. Say you have one of these Seagates lying around your house. And by the way, I should stress, WD usually doesn't let you do that. Seagates work for this because, like I said, they cheap out. They just put a mobile hard drive in a case and just slap it together with a daughter board. So if you were to try this with a Western Digital, most likely it won't work. But at least the drives I tore apart had the daughter board actually soldered into the hard drive. This is just a regular pop out. So yeah, you can literally take one of these Seagates that you have hanging around your house, you know, 1 tera, 2 tera, maybe a 500 gigabyte. You know, you're not using it. It's just sitting there. You're planning on getting the mode. Just open it up, format it, and there you go. Just load your games, click, pop it in. That's it. So it only took about 7 minutes worth of time. Most of the time I was just talking. So from a $60 hard drive to a hard drive and daughter board, perfecto. Now you know how to get a cheap laptop hard drive for maybe a fraction of what you would pay for a laptop drive on its own. So, with this helpful hint, this is John Schaefer signing off.